And joining me now for more is Doug Ford, Premier for Ontario, Canada. I'm so glad to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, Laura, I'm a big fan of yours, but it's great to be on the show. And I love the U.S. I love the Americans. Spent 20 years of my life there in Chicago, New Jersey, in our business. I just want to build two stronger nations, AmCan Fortress, and we work together. No one could touch us. We'd be the richest, wealthiest, safest, most prosperous two nations in the world.
Well, thank you so much for all of that. And I'm glad, again, to have you here because we want to specifically ask you about this caught on a hot mic moment this week. Prime Minister Trudeau called Trump's proposal to annex Canada, quote, a real thing. So why do you think Trump is set on making Canada the 51st state? And to push it a little bit further, is this a proposal that Canadians would get behind?
No, Canada's not for sale, Laura. We are your strongest friend, best friend, treasured ally, and we've just worked hand in hand together since 1867. We want to support the U.S. economy. We want to support the Canadian economy. We have the critical minerals that the U.S. needs. We have the energy they need. We have the aluminum and steel and nickel and so on and so forth. And there's no one I want to sell to more than our American friends to make them stronger. Because when the U.S. is stronger, Canada is stronger, and vice versa. We're your number one export destination in the world, your number one customer in the world, and I just want to work with our great friends and allies.
I know that a lot of people are going to be glad to hear that. And of course, it does all come down to the money, right? In some cases, Trump is holding off on his plans to hedge tariffs on Canadian goods for the time being. So when you take a look at that, how could that tax impact Canada's economy if he does reinstate those plans?
Well, it would devastate the Canadian economy. It would devastate the U.S. economy. You can't just cut off your largest trading partner, $1.3 trillion. Let's just say Ontario, just alone as a province, 9 million Americans wake up every morning to produce products just for Ontario. So there'd be plants closing, assembly plants closing in the auto sector, and it's not worth retaliation. Like you rely on our critical minerals, on our nickel, on our cobalt, on our lithium, on our 4.3 million barrels of oil we ship down on a daily basis. We want to ship more. Ontario keeps 1.5 million lights on in New York and Michigan and Minnesota. I want to send you more energy. I want to support the American economy. I want to support the Canadian economy. And we're just so much stronger together. Do you know what the problem is, Laura?
What's that?
It's not Canada, it's China. Washington wakes up in the morning thinking of China. They go to sleep thinking of China. And I have so many friends, business contacts in the U.S. I've talked to senators and governors and Congress people from both sides of the aisle. Not one has told me Canada's the problem, because we aren't the problem. We're your closest and treasured ally, and we're going to make both countries a lot stronger.
All right, well, let's talk about what Canada is doing to stop China. Obviously, we've got fentanyl coming in from the border. Tell us a little bit about the efforts that's being made on your end.
Yeah, we put a full court press. We're spending $1.3 billion, putting 10,000 personnel on the border. I've been all over our prime minister for the last 5 years. Now the province of Ontario, the largest, the economic engine of Canada, has taken it into their own hands. So we have our provincial police, which is equal to our state police. We've made bust, and it works on both sides of the border. We just busted 556 kilos of cocaine coming in from the southern border. Illegal guns are coming in from the southern border. But in saying all that, we have to work together. I've met with the DEA, met with the U.S. Border Patrol and Canadian Border Patrol, the RCMP. We all agree, let's tighten the border up. Let's have the two safest countries in the world. And I agree 1,000% with President Trump and Trump administration. Tighten the border up. Simple. And so we've put, we have helicopters in the air. We have fixed wing aircraft. We have boats in the water, boots on the ground, ATVs. We are all over this. When President Trump said, I want to tighten the border, I heard him loud and clear, and we're going to tighten that border.
You know, I'm so glad that you mentioned that because, as you know, NewsNation spends so much time talking about the southern border and the northern border as well. But we do spend a lot of our resources watching what's happening down there. So to hear you give us that visual of what's happening up there, I really appreciate that perspective because it is very important, something that we all need to pay attention to.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.